Well, today we have a legend in our midst, ladies and gentlemen. Today's special guest was a six-time CFL All-Star and holds five different CFL records. He is also a member of the Winnipeg Football Club Hall of Fame and caught the CFL's longest all-time pass of 105 yards in walk-off fashion as what arguably could be the craziest finish ever to a CFL game.
One last shot. Downfield for Stegall. He's got it. Oh, no! Milt Stegall! Are you kidding? This is unbelievable. Touchdown Bombers. The most remarkable touchdown of Milt Stegall's career. 100 yards on the final play.
That was incredible. Bigger than football, he was an instrumental part of the community of Manitoba and is a man who has been known as a devoted Christ follower. Please welcome Milt Stegall.
Wow, that was a heck of an interest, man. Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction. I feel like I want to go back on the field and play now. I'm ready to go.
So how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, just down here with the family in Atlanta, just trying to remain safe amongst all the chaos. But, you know, I'm happy, healthy, safe, same way with my family. So I have no complaints, none at all.
Good. And we're glad to hear that. Something I left out of your intro, which could have made it even better, is that you were once actually voted the best looking man in the CFL. Was that officially documented though?
Well, it's documented by the Mirror every single morning I look in it. So I would have to say yes.
Oh man, that Milt, this is why we got you on. We're in a series right now called No Excuses. And I'm not a pro athlete, Milt, but I would assume that pro athletes never make excuses. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
No, there are some that make excuses, unfortunately, and you would think otherwise, but there are some who make excuses. Reason being, you know, if you're losing, if you're not successful, you want to blame it on everything except pointing at the man or the woman or the person in the mirror. So no, I've been around numerous, unfortunately, pro athletes that have made excuses for one reason or another.
Now, do you or have you yourself ever made excuses?
Now, I won't lie and say I've never made excuses, but for the most part, no, I haven't. And the reason I haven't is before I do anything, I always say to myself, did I prepare myself to the best of my ability? Did I, as far as sports go, did I train? Did I study? Did I know exactly what I was doing? And no, as long as I can look in the mirror and say, yes, I have no excuses. There's going to be some times where the guy who I'm going against or the team who I'm going against is just better than me. That's the reason why I wasn't successful. But there are no excuses as long as you've done your best, as long as you prepared your best, as long as you understand I did all I can do. And if you can say that, you shouldn't come up with any excuses.
When it comes to staying on track, we'll get a little more personal. When it comes to your faith journey, how difficult was it for you to stay on track and not make excuses during your playing career?
It can be very difficult, and people don't understand peer pressure exists regardless if you're one or if you're 101, regardless of your occupation, regardless of your race, where you live. Peer pressure exists. You have to put yourself in a position where you don't have to make a decision, meaning that if you know you're married and you know you have guys on your team who are, you know, doing their thing with women, you can't put yourself in a position where you have to make a decision like, well, I'm married. I want to be faithful to my wife, so I don't want to go mess with this girl. I never put myself in a position where I got to make that decision because there's a chance where I can make the wrong decision. So for me, that was it for me. Not putting myself in that position, always having that strong faith and surrounding myself with the guys who are on the team who are trying to achieve the same goals I was trying to achieve. I always live by the saying, if you can't, if the people around you aren't trying to do things you're trying to do, you got to surround yourself with some different people, you know? So that was a big thing for me, not putting myself in a position where I got to make a decision and surrounding myself with some individuals who are trying to achieve the same goals I was achieving.
And as you speak into that, we're in Proverbs right now as we go through this series, No Excuses. So my question then for you, last question would have to be, when it comes to scripture, when it comes to Proverbs specifically, what maybe is a proverb or a verse in Proverbs that motivates you?
Proverbs 10 and 12. And hopefully I'm not paraphrasing. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers over all wrongs. I mean, especially with the times we're going in now, if we could just present each other with some love, even if someone presents you with some type of hatred, if you could cover that with love, it would make it so much easier. But a lot of times when people are presented with hatred, they respond back with hatred. Now you got two heads bumping against each other. So even if somebody comes at me disrespectfully or comes at me at hatred, I try to think for a second and say, okay, how can I calm this matter down and try to come with love? Does it work all the time? No, but a lot of times it does. And if we could all come to that resolution, it would make things so much easier. We're in a crazy climate in the States right now. So every opportunity I get, I try to present love to everyone, regardless of what they're presenting to me.
Slow to speak and quick to listen. That is powerful. And Milt, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on this Sunday. You have inspired and motivated me today, and I know I won't be alone in that. Thank you so much for your time, Milt.
Thanks for having me, man. I enjoyed every moment.